What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope you're all doing well. As you can see, it's just me right now. Justin is going to be appearing as a special guest in a little bit. And by special guest, I mean he's gonna be my co-host. I told you guys about the collab, but we're gonna jump right in. You guys, for everyone who tuned in, you guys got my MLB preview the last 2 days. Today I'm gonna do my awards picks, and I'm gonna pick who wins the World Series. Starting the American League MVP. You know what? I'm gonna say I'll say it's Ohtani again. I think Ohtani went for the second time in 3 years. He's definitely gonna be motivated. You know, going into a contract year, people are saying he might get $500 million, $500 million might not be out of the question. I think it goes to Ohtani, the two-way sensation. Arguably the best player in the league, top 3 player in the league at worst. I'll say Ohtani wins the American League MVP. For American League Cy Young, MVP is only probably a handful of guys. Unless someone comes out of nowhere, you're probably looking at, all right, Judge, Ohtani, maybe Vlad Guerrero. As for American League Cy Young, a little more wide open. Obviously, the front runner last year was Verlander, and he did not. Obviously, he's not going to be able to win this year because he's now nationally with the New York Mets. So you wonder who. So I'll say, I'll say Alek Manoah. Let's get a little fancy. Alek Manoah in Toronto. I'll say he's the. I'll say he wins the Cy Young. He had a breakout year last year. He's turning into a stud in this league. I'll see Alek Manoah wins American League Cy Young. American League Rookie of the Year, I think it's Gunnar Henderson. I don't have much hesitation with that. He played pretty well at the down stretch with Baltimore last year. He was the #1 prospect in baseball. He'll be the everyday third baseman on opening day for the Baltimore Orioles. But I don't see why he won't win the American League Rookie of the Year. I don't think it'll be that close. For American League Manager of the Year, that one could be tough. You know what? I'm going to go with Pedro Grifol, who just became a manager of the Chicago White Sox. He's been an assistant coach with the Royals for quite a few years. He's now the manager of the White Sox. I'll say he turns the White Sox around, gets them back to the playoffs, and I'll say he wins Manager of the Year. As for the National League MVP, last year was Paul Goldschmidt in St. Louis. This year, I'll say, I'll say it's Juan Soto. Soto was very good last year, but still wasn't quite his best season. His batting average was a lot lower. He's usually a guy who hits over 300. Last year, I think it was only like 240, 250 around there. So I think he's a guy he's got 2 years left. He's got a bag coming, whether that's next offseason, before he's a free agent, or if it's when he hits the market, it's seeing a little less to even get to the market. He's going to get a huge deal. I mean, Washington offered him, $430, $450 million, and he said no. And he's probably, unless he's offered $500 million, he's probably testing the market because he thinks he can probably get that on the open market, and I don't blame him. Top 5 player in baseball, who's only going to be maybe 26, 27, if that, when he hits the open market. He's still only, I think, he only even think he's 25 years old yet. I wouldn't be surprised if he tests the market. So I'll say Juan Soto wins National League MVP, National League Cy Young. So last year was Sandy Alcantara. Jacob deGrom, who every year was everyone's pick, is now, of course, in the American League. So that's tough. But by the way, we have someone about to call into the show, Redbox, who I actually know back in the ColorCast days. We were on different casts together. I'm not sure if he's ever been on mine, but I think he has actually. But he's.
Yeah, I used to come on back on the ColorCast days. I used to call on your Talkin Sports with Jake almost every Friday. It's Redbox from ColorCast.
That's right, you did, Redbox. How's it going, man?
Good. I saw you threw it in our group chat. I thought I'd come check it out.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's a little tougher without ColorCast now. Now on Twitter Spaces, ColorCast shut down. That's another story for another day. But yeah, I'm doing this now.
Oh yeah, no, trust me, I was there for all of it.
Yep, yes you are.
I'm sure you saw the very nice messages I sent to ColorCast's Twitter account.
I did.
They had it coming.
I did.
What's going on today? What are we talking about?
We're doing a bunch of stuff. I'm doing my awards picks for baseball. I'm gonna predict the World Series. Got a bunch of other stuff. I'm not sure if you know Justin. He's in the Discord. He doesn't really do casts on Color but he's actually my roommate. Him and I. Justin Alter. He's in the Discord.
Is he the guy who goes by Justin Everyday Bro on Discord?
I don't think that's his Discord name. I think it's just Justin, but I could be wrong. I don't know his exact name.
Okay. I was gonna say, is your roommate ColorCast's biggest troll?
No, it is not. It is not Justin Sports Fan.
Oh yeah, that dude.
Yeah, just by the way, everyone, Justin Sports Fan for my listeners. He used to be on Color Guys. He was like this big troll, not that nice of a guy, from what I got. Very annoying, and yeah.
He DM'd me the other day.
He did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So yeah, and like now that Justin's in Discord, everyone's like, sometimes like, wait, that Justin Sports Fan. He's like, and I have to put it like, no, I know him. I brought him into the Discord, not him, different Justin.
Okay, good.
Yeah, him and I do shows separate from this, but we're gonna combine our shows. So in a little bit, he's gonna be like a special guest / co-host in a little bit.
All right.
Yeah. So, Redbox, you're up in Canada, right?
Yes, I am.
So, what's going on up there? I know the Toronto Raptors not going as planned this year. They got some trade talks. I know Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby is in the news. What do you think's going to happen? What do you want to happen?
Don't get me going. We can't blow it up right now. We can't blow it up. We've got, Van Vliet, OG, Gary Trent, Scotty Barnes. This is our new core.
Mm-hmm.
And if Masai Ujiri thinks blowing it up and sending OG out for Russell Westbrook is going to solve our problems, I think we might need a new GM.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. This team is not bad. They just don't have all their their pieces in the right spot. This is a capable team. I think we could make it past the play-in. I think this is a second-round team if we can actually play, which tonight we play the Rockets. God forbid, I hope we win that. Oh, God. If we don't beat Houston, I've got questions.
Yeah, they suck.
Under 500. That lost to Utah on Wednesday night. We had 3 players with a double-double, 1 with a triple-double. We shouldn't have lost that. It was pathetic.
Yeah, it's weird. Like you're saying, when you look at their team, this is a team that should be at worst like a 7 or 8 in the Eastern Conference, and it could probably at least give a team a run in the first round. They're very, they got a lot of guys that can play both ends of the floor. To me, something is missing. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure if you know better than me, because obviously you watch them more than I do. It seems like something, like, just from watching them, from what I've watched, they play my next couple of times, so I watch those games, and, like, whenever I tune in to, like, a national game if they're playing, something's missing. Like, you got Siakam, obviously, Scotty, bit of a sophomore slump, but we know what he can do. Fred VanVleet running the point, Trent, OG. Something, I don't know if they need some more depth, if they need another shooter, another defender. I don't know what it is, but something seems like it's missing down there, or I should say up there.
Eventually, Trent and Barnes, this is the idea. We are kind of, we have them now. We're preparing them to lead the team when people like Siakam, people like OG eventually either go elsewhere or retire, which I don't think we'll keep all 3, OG, Siakam, and VanVleet. I think eventually they're going to want to send somebody off. But I just want a return if we get one of them, if we lose one of them. I don't want a 34-year-old Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
He's got one season left in him, maybe, of quality back. I don't even think he has one season left in him the way he's been playing. So I think it's just a matter of what kind of return can we get for one of these players. And I don't want to give away any more than one. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say at this point either Van Vliet or OG, because OG's just a little too inconsistent with the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
When he's solid, but he's almost never been healthy this year for more than a month or two at a time. I don't want some old guy who's not going to do anything. Like when we got Leonard, we knew it was going to be one season, but we were building that one season to go for a championship.
Yeah, and it worked. You guys won the whole thing, and it worked.
Now, if we did that again, we would not be building to make
a
one-season championship run. Or if we did, whoever thought we could do that with one more player is incredibly naive and stupid, and I would question why they were making the decisions that they were.
Yeah, this team is definitely, I mean, this is even going into the year, this did not seem like a championship team. But, they expect to at least make the playoffs. Hasn't really worked out. But, I mean, Van Vliet, is his contract coming up?
Yes, I believe so. I think next year.
All right, so he's only got like a year left on his deal, but OG, I believe, is under contract for 2 years. They gave him like a $72 million deal like 2 years ago.
Yeah, and at the time it was a good deal, and I still think we could get a return on that deal.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to stay healthy, and I think we need one more, either another young prospect. We need to go full on. We need to go full Detroit Red Wings and just go full on young guys.
Yeah.
We need one more guy who we can get 3 or 4 years out of, maybe mid to late 20s. And I don't even know who's on the market right now. I don't think there's many. Who can just guide us for a few seasons and make a few playoff runs. Right now, again, I think we have the pieces who will eventually do it. They're not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, Scotty Barnes last year was Rookie of the Year. He did take a step back this year, so that's definitely hurt. But Pascal Siakam, his numbers have been there. Van Vliet's numbers have been there. OG's been hurt. When he's been out there, his numbers have been there. I'm sure him getting hurt has not helped matters. Trent's, I think, has played fine. I mean, I do think their bench is not that deep. I mean, it's really not. You got, I think you have Malachi Flynn as your number 2 point guard behind Van Vliet. He's nothing special. And you would know better than I would. Outside of that,
we've got Chris Boucher who can shoot threes, but that's all he does half the time. He's a great defensive player. He's great at the net. But other than that, I mean, Achua's been hurt basically all year. He would be solid if he was actually healthy too. We haven't. The injury bug hasn't quite. The injury bug isn't the reason we're losing, but we would be a little better off if it didn't hit us so hard.
Yeah. Injuries have definitely hurt. You guys have missed OG. Heard Van Vliet's missed a game here and there. Plus Achua, who's probably your like second center. He's missed time. So that's definitely hurt. Scotty Barnes hasn't been himself. So, there's pretty much everything that could go wrong. Pretty much everything has gone wrong, pretty much, for the Toronto Raptors.
And we're still very much in the race for 10th place, because the Eastern Conference, outside of like 5 teams, is just a sea of parity.
Yeah.
But we're behind the Chicago Bulls right now. Like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. They could still sneak into the play-ins. They probably will, but like you said, on paper, this team should probably at least come out of the first round, but the way they're playing, they might not get out of the play-ins.
On paper, this team should be above 500.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Even with our sketchy second and third lines, this team is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the pieces aren't falling into place this year like they have been even last year.
Yeah, I mean, like on paper, like I thought this team could win 45 games and maybe be a fifth or sixth seed in the Eastern Conference, maybe as a ceiling, at least be a playing team. I thought that was their floor, and just obviously things have kind of gone haywire because now they're in danger of missing the play-ins altogether.
Well, now I see. I don't know where our floor is, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
I think our floor could be literally anywhere.
yeah,
Our ceiling at this point, I think, is a 7 or 8.
yeah. Yeah, I don't. They probably aren't getting much further than that. Based on like how many games. I mean, they're not like incredibly out of sixth place, based on like record wise, but just being realistic with expectations wise, I think they're a little further in that matter.
Yeah, I think we've dug ourselves into a hole that we're gonna have to climb our way out of. I mean, tonight in Houston, if we don't win that, I'm just gonna take a look. Who have we got? See what the injury bug is like tonight. I think we're doing pretty good right now. We got most of our guys back. We are favored to win by quite a bit, but the odds makers have been very generous with the Raptors, as you'd think they should be. Yeah, we got no OG tonight. He's out with a wrist injury.
Mm-hmm.
No Porter, but that's nothing new. So we're missing OG. We're still favored to win. We are minus 294 to win without OG. I don't know if I like those odds. That's a little high for me. I think it's going to be a closer game than that.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing Houston. By the way, so Redbox, I'm in this suite. My school has this suite, this like pocket room that I use, and there's this giant window. I look to my left, and Justin's right there, so he might be coming in soon. We'll see. But yeah, going back to against the Houston Rockets, they should easily win that game. The Rockets suck. They're a bottom 5 team in the league for a reason.
Yeah.
Being said, they don't have OG. I mean, it'll be closer. If they had him, they probably win by 10 or 15 points. Maybe now it's like 7 or 8 points. But
the Rockets have no Green and no Porter, which I don't think is too major. But
I mean, yeah, you haven't had Otto all year, but yeah.
We had our best game on, I think it was Monday. This road stand's been interesting because we absolutely floundered on Wednesday. No, it wasn't Monday. It was on the 28th in Portland, 123-105. Man, that was one hell of a game. We were coming off a loss to Golden State, and we everything was in place that night. And if we can play like we did against Portland, who's not a bad team.
Yeah, I mean, they're struggling a bit. You didn't have Dame for a bit, so that definitely hurt. They were like top 4 for a while, and they've kind of dropped into like the back of the plains. But that team is kind of similar to Toronto, a team that's probably should be a little better than the record show. That's a team that could probably be at least a 5 or 6 in the West, I would think, especially with the West.
I mean, they're 11th right now, but 11th in the West and 11th in the East are two completely different stories right now. The West is huge right now. Like 11th in the East is 24 and 29. 11th in the West is 25 and 26.
Welcome in, Justin. He's just getting set up, so Justin, you should be able to hear Redbox who's calling in once you put your headset on. If not, we'll figure something out. But you should be able to
do this.
You should be able to hear him. So Redbox, say hi to Justin.
Yeah, hello, Justin.
Hi, Redbox. Edit.
Yeah, can you hear him?
Oh yeah.
All right, perfect. So Justin, we're actually talking basketball because Redbox he's located up in Canada, so he's a Toronto Raptors fan. We're talking about something's missing up there.
Let me tell you what's missing. I think Fred VanVleet's your problem. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't just throw away Nick Nurse just yet. You have a great future ahead of you if you're a Raptors fan outside of Fred VanVleet. OG's a great player. I think the Knicks, but I do think the Knicks want way too much for him. 3 first-rounders is a stretch, but he's still a good forward, leads the league in steals. Pascal Siakam's a stud. If Giannis and Joel Embiid weren't in the league, he would be an MVP, without a doubt. Gary Trent has had his moments to where he's good. I feel like there are times where he's a little inconsistent, but otherwise it's pretty good. My one concern though is another issue, the depth pieces.
We were just talking about that.
I don't know. I'm not sure if Chris Boucher coming off the bench is necessarily the move. They don't really have any weapons they don't really have a lot of weapons on the bench that they can rely on. So I think in the trade deadline they should maybe pick up some more rotational pieces, and then I think this team becomes a solid playing team by the end of the season.
Until then, do you think we put Chris Boucher in at center, like in our starting five, or like I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd probably have to rely on him for now, but I would maybe go shopping for somebody else later. I don't really know.
And the issue is for Van Vliet, for the OG trade rumors, who are we gonna get? I don't want a 34-year-old Russell Westbrook. They can keep him out west.
Yeah.
No, you're probably it's. If I'm the Raptors front office, I'd be searching for a pick for Fred VanVleet. You could find a diamond in the rough somewhere with a draft pick. You could get lucky. You could get a great player. I'd probably go into the draft, try to maybe go. I would say he's worth maybe a pick, maybe a first rounder and a second rounder, and then just go for a guard in the draft. Go for somebody with a little bit more size as well. Because how tall is Fred VanVleet? 5'11", 6 even? 6'1", maybe at the highest? Little small.
My problem with VanVleet, the Raptors have a lot of playmakers, Siakam, Barnes. I think they would be a better fit for the Raptors. Will be a point guard who's more of like a facilitator. VanVleet is a scorer. Nothing wrong with that. He's a very good. I think he's a very good player. He can score, and he's I think an underrated defender on the perimeter. Obviously, protecting the rim isn't so great because, like you said, the dude's only 6 feet tall. When he's going up against dudes 6'8", he's overmatched. But I think he is a good perimeter defender, very good scorer. But I think the Raptors might be better fit having a point guard that can kind of distribute the basketball, opposed to being like maybe a pass first guy and a facilitator opposed to a score first guy like VanVleet. Maybe I'm not sure if he fits this team.
No, he doesn't. You need a facilitator.
If there was one player I wish we'd never lost, I'm cool losing Leonard, I'm cool losing Lowry. I wish we'd never given away Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah,
bit of a stud.
That would have been a nice guy to have now.
Now he's balling.
Yeah.
Of course.
Even Marc Gasol, I would have been happy with at this point to still keep him. I know he's getting.
I would have kept him on the bench.
I mean, he's getting old, but I would have let him ride the bench. At least let him be that rotational spot because he could still get you some good blocks. He gets you some good points in the paint every now and then.
Defense.
Yeah, defense.
Yeah, that's the big place where we don't have depth. It's the center. The depth. It's the center position. And I think we had. Back when Boucher was still a second or even playing on the third line sometimes, back when we had Valanciunas, Gasol, I think we had one of the best benches in the league for a while. And then that just completely evaporated. We lost practically our entire championship team. The only ones that are left that were mainstays are VanVleet, Siakam, and OG now.
Yep, pretty much. And also, it also doesn't help that Scotty Barnes is having a bit of an off season. Because everyone knows what he can do when he's on point. He can be he was the rookie of the year for a reason. It was a very, very close race, but he won it for a reason.
Yeah, I don't think there's much you can do about that, though. I think sometimes it's just players have off seasons. I think next year he'll be back, he'll be fine. Even he could still rebound at the end of this season. I'm not worried about him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what's going on. I mean, I was thinking he could take a big jump. I mean, he's got so much talent. I mean, I think he can be like Kevin Durant light. Not quite the same guy. There's very few people that are Kevin Durant that can, be as big as him and shoot the ball the way Durant does and score the way that he does. Maybe like a very much so light version of Kevin Durant, if that makes sense. I think that's what OG can be. Not OG. Scotty Barnes can be. No, he definitely flashed it last year. This year, he hasn't been quite the same. I'm not really sure why. Now, I mean, also last year there weren't a ton of expectations, so he just kind of was able to go out there and play. Now there's some more expectations, maybe that to have something to do with it, I don't know, but he's still probably, 20 years old at this point?
Scotty Barnes?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 20. Yeah, I'd give him
21,
20.
yeah. So he's obviously still very young. All right, so, Redbox, thank you for tuning in. If you want to stick around, please feel free. We're going to talk about some other trade deadline stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'll hang out.
Great. So, Justin, is there any team you have your eye on that you're hearing could make some move, whether it's buying, selling?
Ooh, any teams? I mean, I hope Pat Riley wakes up for maybe just 2 seconds. Get this man a coffee. Get this man a double espresso. I was a barista. I know how to make one. He needs to wake up. He needs to start shopping for players. This is it. This is the time. Here's the thing. Jimmy Butler and Bam should be your core. Hero, okay, fine. You need to build up that bench. I don't want to... I've said this before. I respect what the Heat have done to where they pick up a lot of undrafted players. But the other problem is this. These players were undrafted for a reason.
Yeah.
If they were so good, then they would have been drafted. Their entire bench is undrafted players. Haywood Highsmith, undrafted. Duncan Robinson, undrafted. Gabe Vincent, undrafted. Max Strus, undrafted. Yurtseven, undrafted. Dwayne Dedmon, undrafted. Udonis Haslem, undrafted. Even parts of their starting lineup is undrafted. There is literally only... their starting power forward is an undrafted player, Caleb Morton. And look, some of these guys work out. I think Caleb Morton has worked out pretty well on that power forward piece. I think Gabe Vincent is a good rotational piece, but get rid of Duncan. I don't care if he holds the Heat record for the most career threes. That's a problem. Dwayne Wade should have that by a long shot. If they were so good, when your highest one was Tim Hardaway Sr. I mean, it's not that he was a bad player, but he wasn't this, superstar game-defining player.
Yeah.
It's not like Steph Curry breaking the all-time three-point record. This is Duncan Robinson breaking 800 three-pointers and then getting the record. That's nothing. So they should shop for him. Shop for Kyle Lowry. He's getting old. Redbox, I want him to go back to Toronto. Sorry. I want him to go back. I think he was born for Toronto. I'm not going to lie. Those were
definitely his best years.
It was definitely his best years. He won, albeit he had Kawhi, but he actually did have a good finals series, Kyle Lowry. So, he won a chip there. I think he should end off his career there, get his jersey retired there, because he will.
Well, that's the thing with him in Miami. Like he hasn't produced like he did in Toronto. Bam, I think, has been the only one who's been like Butler and Hero. I think have been a little bit underwhelming for maybe not Butler so much, but certainly Hero.
Tyler Hero, absolutely. This is a guy to where last year he was a virtually unanimous Rookie of the Year candidate. He got 96 votes.
Sixth Man of the Year, yeah.
Yeah, for Sixth Man of the Year. And he should have stayed that way. Tyler Hero has a huge ego. Because this also happened in the bubble. He rides the bench in the bubble, has this one good game, does the stupid freaking snarl that he did, showing his teeth. And then he's like, oh yeah, make me a starter. He becomes a starter. They get shit on by the Bucks. I'm sorry. I know this is a PG podcast, but
not for kids. It's quite all right.
All right, so it's not for kids. All right. But yeah, they got shit on by the Bucks. Then he goes back to the bench, has a great season. If he was healthy, they probably beat the Celtics.
Yeah.
And he deserves that Sixth Man of the Year award. Then of course, press conference comes around, end of season. He's like, "Oh yeah, I deserve to be a starter." I proved myself. You were 6th man of the year. That doesn't prove anything. You know who else was a 6th man of the year? Montrezl Harrell. You know who else was a 6th man of the year? Dennis Schroeder. All of them became starters. All of them sucked afterwards. And it's the same thing with Tyler Hero. This is a team. Miami is a team that has some kind of obsession with paying mid or slightly above average players way too much money. I don't think Tyler Hero deserved that contract. He deserved something high, but not that high. Duncan Robinson did not deserve $90 million for having 800 three-pointers. Say, okay, you're not Steph. Oh, what's up, Redbox?
I caught some of the Knicks Heat game, the end of the game last night. It was a great ending.
Crazy ending.
Oh, it was a great ending. Hartenstein was fantastic.
Hero and Adebayo both had great games. Hero was 25-5.
Damn, a nice game.
Adebayo 32, 9, and 3. Like those are good numbers. He can play well. He's inconsistent.
Yeah, he can.
He shouldn't be a starter.
No, yeah, that's the thing. He should keep on playing the bench until he starts having these better numbers. Like, here's the thing. If he averages maybe 22, 23 off the bench every night, then I'd probably consider making him a starter. But that needs to be every night with maybe a couple of off games here and there. It should not be this on and off stuff. As for Jimmy Butler has 2 modes. He's in sleep mode to where he's working on his big face coffee, which is a $40 package of beans, or he wakes up and he has like this 45-point triple double. Nobody can stop him. Man cannot do more, and then they lose. There is no winning for Jimmy Butler. There is no way he can do it.
He was certainly in sleep mode last night.
He was in sleep mode last night, especially on my fantasy team. I almost wanted to throw my phone out the window. Really.
I mean, it's already cracked enough.
Yeah, it is a little cracked. I'm getting it fixed today, but yeah, it's cracked. I'm gonna get it fixed after this. But I think the Heat need to go for somebody to trade.
I agree.
I want OG Anunoby. I actually think that it would be very beneficial to have him at, maybe a 1 spot, 2 spot, maybe.
Well, we don't want Jimmy Butler, so you're not getting him.
I'm not gonna get. They're not gonna give you. They're not gonna give you Jimmy Butler. They're gonna give you Kyle Lowry and a 2nd rounder. And Masai Ujiri might think, you know what? Good trade. I want a Kyle back.
I don't think we get a return on that trade.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. My thing with OG is that he's a good player, but I feel like some teams want to pay him way too much.
Yeah. Like
the Knicks 3 first-rounders? Are we kidding? I mean, they need a pick. The Knicks need a draft pick.
But I think the Knicks, they have a lot of picks. So they're one of the few teams that can afford to give up 3 first-round picks for really anybody. That being said, OG Anunoby is turning them from it might get them from the 7 to the 5 spot. So I might give up 2 ones for him because he's got 2 years left because of all the different things he could do. So maybe 2 ones, I think that would be my land, but 3 ones, I think it's a stretch.
Yeah, I would limit it to 2. 3, 1. Yeah. I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
No, I said that might be the piece they need to put them over the top. I mean, they're almost there, and they've got so many picks coming up in the draft. Like I've looked, they've got a lot. So, it could work out in their favor. I think it'd be us. We might get a return on that. We just have to wait till next year. It wouldn't be an immediate one. But I think, that could put them from a potential play-in to a second round team for sure. Maybe having to play, I don't know who they would. The East is so top heavy.
Yes.
Yeah, well, what I would say is this, because I would say this, if you do trade OG to the Knicks for picks, for first round picks, Yeah, you actually could get a good return on that. There are a lot of solid guards and forwards that are either international like Wembanyama or that are in the G League. You got Scoot Henderson. Then there's players in college. That kid from Purdue, who's a beast. He's a beast. What could happen is you could end up going into the lottery and get a really good, and then utilize those picks to get a really good number in the lottery, and then select yourself a potential franchise big man.
Victor Wembanyama.
Victor, I don't know where Victor Wembanyama is going. I want to just say this real quick. If I'm every other team, I need to let the Spurs win. If Victor Wembanyama goes to the Spurs, everyone in the league is screwed. Look at what Greg Popovich did to Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
He made him an all-time great player. He won like 5 rings. How many MVPs? A couple of MVPs.
I'm sure.
He's a Hall of Famer, NBA 75er, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, San Antonio Spur. Mm-hmm. An absolute menace to the league. And then you're gonna have Greg Popovich coach Wembanyama. We're going back to dynasty form, boys. Bring back Tony Parker. Bring back Manu Ginobili. Get Kawhi back in there. Get back Danny Green. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Wembanyama, unless you're Houston, San Antonio, Detroit, or Charlotte, you're not getting Wembanyama or Scoot, those 4 teams.
Danny Green just gets sent down to the G League?
Did Memphis, wait, isn't he in Memphis? Did they send him down?
Yeah, they sent him down.
Oh, wow.
When did they send him down? I thought he was just playing yesterday.
Well, they might have called him back up, but they sent him down to the hustle last week.
Oh, yeah, I think they called him back up. Yeah, I do like what the NBA is doing with the G League because utilizing the injuries and kind of having them, work out, play that 5-on-5 in the G League, and then just go back to the NBA.
Yeah, like in MLB, a lot of times if you have a young guy who's strong because he's not getting playing time, he goes from playing getting 5 at bat today to getting only 2 or 3, and it's not working out. They'll send them back down, let them get some at bats, or when guys get hurt, even like when with the Mets when Jacob deGrom got hurt, they put him in the minor leagues. Like
he's been in there a few times, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll be hitting 103, and these like double-A minor league players will be like, what do you want us to do? And be like, oh, deGrom's pitched 3 perfect games. Like, well, yeah, he's playing against kids in double-A.
The Yankees did the same thing with CC Sabathia. Towards the end of his career.
They did?
Yes, CC's up there hitting 96. He's like twice the size of all these other guys. I remember at one point DeGrom was hitting 103 in double-A a couple years when he was rehabbing. People were like, yeah, we're a little bit, we're out of luck here, not gonna hit this guy. But yeah, the NBA G League is kind of doing the same thing now. A guy like James Wiseman who's kind of floundering, who's getting drafted in Golden State. They've sent him down, let him get some minutes. Like the Knicks had Obi Toppin down there when he was rehabbing from an injury just so he can get like some game experience.
I think Rajon Rondo went down there a couple of times on the Lakers.
Yeah, it's interesting when you have older guys do it, but especially for but I don't see why for older guys I think it makes more sense if they're rehabbing from injury, but definitely for like the younger guys who like have potential, maybe just get them some game experience. I think it's a very good tool to have.
Real quick, going back to the trade deadline. Trust my process here. Hear me out. Okay. Hear me out. The Sacramento Kings are a really good team this year, which means they're gonna trade all their players away. They do it every single year.
Yeah.
Every year. They love to do this. They did it last year. It kind of worked out for them because they got Sabonis, but still, why? It's like I guarantee you, Domantas Sabonis is going, De'Aaron Fox is going, Keegan Murray's going. You're gonna be left with who? Jeremy Lamb. It's on that team, I guess. But knowing the Kings, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna have like Davion Mitchell run the starting shooting guard position.
I mean, the Kings had DeMarcus Cousins, who in his prime was a monster, and they traded him for, they got Buddy Hield, who was good but not great. They got back, Langston Galloway, who was okay with the Knicks, but besides that, he's not that good. They had got like some other scrub and a first rounder, and then last year, they're not that good. They're building stuff. They're like, let's just trade Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield. I mean, yes, they got back DeMont Smith, who's really good and he's an all-star, but still, like trading Halliburton, I still can't believe that they did.
Yeah, they should have let him cook. Look at what he's doing now. He is probably, to me, what a point guard should be doing.
Yeah.
He is exactly what a point guard should be every single night. A point guard is not supposed to be the one to always shoot. That's primarily like a shooting guard's kind of job. Mm-hmm. A point guard's job is to hold the ball, create space, facilitate, and then, if there's no space left, have a great shot.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the floor general, and Tyrese Halliburton is definitely the ultimate floor general, and there's a reason that he's a first-time All-Star this year.
Yeah, he has what? He's averaging, 11, 10 assists a game? Yeah. He's averaging a crazy amount of assists, and
he's averaging 18, 19 points a game.
Yeah, and he's a very efficient player. That's why he's an All-Star. Yeah. By the way, Wally Szczerbiak can he is an ass for calling Tyrese Halliburton a fake wannabe All-Star after beating the Pacers once. I mean, that was a little brutal.
Yeah, that was I like Wally. He's very good in the studio. If I have to hear him do play-by-play one more time, I might smash myself over the head with like a metal pan. He's got that good studio voice, very like calming. I mean, not almost like condescending. That's kind of the negative connotation, but he's very calming, soothing,
methodical.
That's the word. Very methodical. Kind of like same thing I felt about Tony Dungy. Very calming, methodical voice, which in like the studio and like the pregame and the
that works
show
great.
Works great. Play-by-play, not so much, which is why
play-by-play you need that energy.
Yeah, so Wally Szczerbiak definitely he put him to sleep, kind of like Tony Dungy did in that one game that he did with Al Michaels for no reason.
Yeah, but still, fake wannabe All-Star?
That's not a good take by Wall. He did apologize, but that's not a good take.
Yeah, it's like, I guess my question is this, Wally. If Tyrese Halliburton is a fake wannabe All-Star, then what the hell does that make Deuced? What does that make Deuce McBride, really? What exactly... What makes Deuce McBride?
Well, no one's talking about Deuce McBride as an All-Star.
Well, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Like calling him I mean, Julius Randle deserves to be an All-Star. I kind of think Jalen Brunson deserved it a little bit more, though.
Yeah.
He should have been looked at a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
He might actually be a favorite for MIP. He's really stepped up his game since Dallas.
Yeah.
I am still a belief that he might be more of a 2 guy and not a 1.
He definitely is.
But the fact that he has played at the 1 position all season and has played well and has won them games is a very good sign. It's a good improvement. He's only 26. Which means Leon Rose is going to trade him.
Yeah, Leon Rose has not done a good job at all.
Yeah, Leon's going to look at Jalen Brun's going to be like, 26 points a game, 9 assists a game. Who can we get for how about Max Christie and 3 first rounders? How about Max Christie and a 2nd round pick? that is a common Leon Rose thing. I feel like a lot of these I am liking the Knicks though. I like where they're at. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't give up on Tibbs just yet. Not yet. There are many parts of the Knicks to where you cannot blame Thibodeau. How can you blame Tibbs for the fact against the Lakers that Julius Randle blatantly misses Jalen Brunson wide open from deep and is about to shoot a triple team shot from the baseline?
Yeah, you can't blame him for that, but also the Knicks have collapsed several times. They, even the games they've won, they'll be up by 10 with like 3 minutes left, and they'll just like fall apart. They'll miss a bunch of free throws. They'll have lapses on defense. They'll take bad shots, and all of a sudden it'll become a 1-point game. And then Jalen Brunson needs to hit his his 90th dagger 3 to just keep them ahead for the rest of the game. I want to know what's going on at practice. Are they practicing?
They're
crunch
probably
time?
Okay, that I do agree with. They might need to do more practice on 2-minute drills. That's definitely a thing. But the other thing is this. I'm sorry, the Knicks bench, some pieces don't scare me.
Yeah.
Isaiah Hartenstein, although he doesn't have a lot of points per game, his defense is very good. He's a great backup big man to Mitchell Robinson. Obi Toppin is very good. Jericho Sims is incredibly athletic.
His hops are out.
He's got crazy hops. He's a great rebounder. But I'm gonna be Deuce McBride, Quentin Grimes.
I like Grimes though.
They don't scare me.
No,
they don't scare me. I'm gonna be real with you. Some of these Knicks fans overrate Emmanuel Quickly.
A little bit.
He takes. Here's the thing. If you showed me a picture of Emmanuel Quickly and you showed me a picture of Cam Thomas, I'd say they're the same person. Emmanuel Quickly, there's never a shot that he doesn't like.
Yeah.
Triple coverage from the logo. Yeah, I could shoot this. And then he just completely bricks it, and then he makes 1 3-pointer after going 1 for 11 from deep in a single game. Oh, IQ, he's loose. No.
The problem with IQ is, I really like him. I think he's a real good true point guard because he's a very good defender. He's a very good passer, good court vision. He's a decent scorer. He's too inconsistent from 3. If he can become a consistent 3-point shooter, he has a chance to be a really special, but until then, he either has to not shoot as much, and that takes away a bit of an asset from his game, but he still has a lot of other assets, or he's just gotta his shot selection is very shaky. There's 3 guys that can pull from the logo anytime they want: Stephen Curry, Trae Young, Damian Lillard, maybe Klay Thompson,
Luka.
And Luka, those 5 guys. If you're not one of those 5 guys, do not pull up from a logo. And IQ likes to do that. He's made a couple of them in the past, but he can't do it consistent enough where he just can't keep doing it, and he keeps doing it.
Because during this, what the guys talk about, Trae Young, Dame, Steph, Klay, Luka. Thing is this, they could shoot from the logo, miss, and the coach will say, do it again.
Exactly.
Because they know that, okay, maybe you missed that one time, but I know the next 3 times you do it, you're going to hit it.
Yeah, with IQ, if I'm Tom, dude, let's calm it down.
Lower the temperature here, let's chill out. But I think IQ has potential. I just don't see it yet. I don't look at him really as an opponent and say, let's guard this guy like hell, Let's full court press this one guy because he might make a 3.
Yeah.
Cam Reddish, absolutely not.
All right, Cam Reddish, he's getting traded. He's not going to be
Cam Reddish is getting traded. He ain't good.
I don't know if he'll be a Knick, honestly, by Tuesday.
I don't think. No, probably not. But it is an exciting time, trade deadline. I do like it a lot. There's a lot of moves that need to be made that probably won't be, like the Heat. The Heat won't make a trade, I guarantee it. They'll probably look at their bench and be like, yeah, Dwayne Dedmon's the mechanic for a reason. For a guy who screws everything up, I'm really surprised that his name is the mechanic.
Who?
Dwayne Dedmon.
That's what I call him?
Dwayne Dedmon's nickname is the mechanic. I think the Hawks called him that, which makes it even worse. Under Lloyd Pierce's Hawks, oh yeah.
That's insulting, yeah.
That is insulting. I want John Collins. I do not understand why the Hawks want to get rid of this guy.
He honestly, they're a weird team, the Hawks. They honestly, I don't think McMillan comes back next year.
McMillan doesn't come back.
The players like the dude almost quit a couple months ago. The players don't like him. Him and Trey had like a freaking altercation. That Trey didn't even show up for a game. I mean, they don't like him.
No, they don't.
I don't think he comes back. And this team should be way better than 500.
Absolutely.
I don't think McMillan comes back next year.
Absolutely way better than... Yeah, I don't understand. How does your starting lineup consist of Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, which could easily be a top 5 backcourt in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
And then your forwards consist of John Collins and Clint Capella, and you are one of the worst teams in the league?
Better than one of the most mid teams in the league.
Yeah, one of the most mid teams in the league, but in the Southeast Division, I think they're ranked the lowest.
Wow.
Which is saying something because the Wizards freaking stink. The Wizards are horrendous. It's Bradley Beal and friends, and not even Bradley Beal is that good.
He's very good, but not great, I would say.
No, he's overrated. But the craziest team, though, which we gotta break this down, the Chicago Bulls.
Something is wrong
That team
there.
confuses me. Who slept with whose wife? Really, who screwed somebody over in practice? I don't know what exactly is going on. Look, I don't like Billy Donovan. I didn't think he was that good in Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. But still, this team should be so much better. This team should, on paper, be a top 5 team in the East.
That's definitely their ceiling. I had them as a playing team, but that's definitely their ceiling.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna be. And by the way, whoever's gonna tell me, oh, they need Lonzo back, they don't need Lonzo back. They don't need Lonzo back. Lonzo has his moments of being good, but he's not good. That's the thing. Okay.
ruined him.
Well, yes, a majority of his career has been screwed by his dad.
Yeah.
But still, like. Let me take this. LeVar Ball did not teach him that egregious shooting form. Start from the shoulder, pull up.
It's gotten better, but yeah.
It's gotten
so bad.
better,
When he
and
first got there, it was horrible.
And he has improved on the Pelicans. But when you ask yourself, of those 2 Lakers players, between Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram, who went to the Pelicans, who has truly improved more?
Ingram.
Absolutely. And it's night and day.
Absolutely.
Lonzo, to me, is basically the same player that he was on the Lakers with just a better looking shooting form. With just a prettier looking shot. Look, at the end of the day, shooting form doesn't really matter if it goes in. I mean, look at Sean Marion. I mean, that was horrendous, but he cooked people with it. Yeah. I guess. How whatever it goes, even Steph Curry's shooting form is not that pretty. It's not really a toss. It's kind of like a push. It kind of goes like that.
Yeah,
but he's just very accurate, and it's
gets it off so quick.
Yeah, he just gets it off very quick, and hey, it goes in. It's the reason why he's the greatest 3-point shooter ever. Mm-hmm. But the Bulls, man, I don't know.
I think you blow that team up in the offseason.
I blow it up. I want Zach LaVine in the trade.
I don't. I mean, like on paper, you would think kind of like going back to Toronto. You obviously Toronto, you're not blowing it up, but you see Toronto. They have a core there: Siakam, OG, Barnes, and Chicago has something similar. LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, when healthy, Lonzo can contribute. Vooch, but just it's in Toronto. It's clear that it can work. In Chicago, I think it's pretty clear it's not going to work. So I think I mean, also Zach LaVine. He's not a superstar. He's really good. I don't even think he's a 1, to be honest.
No, he's a 2 guy. And for that, I'm going to propose this trade. I'm the Miami Heat spokesperson here. I'm going to propose a trade right now. We're going to give you Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, and Victor Oladipo for a 2nd rounder, and a 2nd rounder for Zach LaVine. Take it.
Not sure that's going to work. It might have to be at least a...
With this Bulls team, I have no idea. I don't know anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
they're probably going to be like, yeah, fair trade.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think he'll go up a deadline. That would be a big move to have up a deadline for a team that could still make the plans. But in this offseason, I don't really think I think that at least they should probably move him because, first of all, him and DeRozan don't like each other.
No.
There's
if you ask me,
there.
none of them are ones. DeMar DeRozan isn't
Yeah.
a 1, he's a 2.
At this point, for
Zach
sure.
LaVine isn't a 1, he's a 2.
Yeah.
They're both worthy of being in the starting lineup 100%. Both of them are equally worthy, but they just don't mesh.
No.
There is no chemistry. Whenever I watch the Bulls, I feel like I'm watching, my local rec team play basketball, all the 8-year-olds, and even they have better chemistry. They don't really know how to pass a ball. They don't really know how to shoot anything outside of, the 2 feet of painted area, and even with that, you gotta pray. But at least they have some ball movement. At least they have some.
Think that Zach LaVine compared to an 8-year-old on this show, but yeah,
But it works.
it does. It does work, but yeah, I don't think those two like each other. They don't. It's weird. Like last year, at one point, they were probably the best duo in the league with Clay hurt. Outside of Tatum and Brown, maybe they were maybe the best duo in the league. And this year, and then you had that one time they're down 3 with 10 seconds on, and LaVine goes for a layup, and Vooch is like, "How you doing, dude?" It's clear that there's definitely some tension. I think they're a little frustrated with Zach LaVine. Because, he's shown he can be a star in this league, but he just hasn't shown it, and I think he's proven that he just isn't. He's a very good player, but I don't think he's elite.
I agree. I very much agree. Oh, I mean, that's my long-winded spiel on the trade deadline. I'm not sure what else you have in the books.
I want to talk about, I heard Charlotte is shopping a lot of guys.
Charlotte? Yeah. Who are they planning on shopping exactly? They don't really have anybody.
Terry Rozier.
Fuck. Sorry, wait, this is not for kids, right?
I select not for kids on the
right,
thing.
yeah, fuck off. Actually, no. There's no way in hell that I'm gonna let that I would let Terry Rozier go. I don't think he's a good defender, but I feel like you should build around him and LaMelo first.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't have Miles Bridges anymore. We all know why.
Yeah.
It's everyone else. First of all, Michael Jordan. Who told you? What kind of dream did you have to where the universe told you, let's hire Steve Clifford?
Yeah, I don't think he's a good coach, Steve
He's
Clifford.
not a good coach. When has he ever showed any signs, except for that one time in Orlando, which was mostly Vooch and friends,
Yeah.
to where they
Evan
actually... Yeah, and Evan Fournier, when Evan Fournier was good. That was prime Fournier. To where he's actually shown some promise. He hasn't. So, build around LaMelo. Build around Terry Rozier. Who the hell is Mason Plumlee? Really? I mean, let's be real here. Who the hell is Mason Plumlee? I just don't know.
Yeah, that team has been... I didn't think they'd be that good. I thought maybe the 8 or 9 was probably their ceiling, but I think they'd be this bad.
Yeah, Gordon Hayward can't stay healthy.
No.
He just can't. I just don't know what this... I feel like this team... I won't even say blow this team up, because how could you blow up a team that's already been blown up?
Yeah.
This team is not good. There's only 2 players.
What's that red box?
There's nothing to blow up.
Yeah, exactly. You're not trading LaMelo Ball. Maybe you trade Rozier. Maybe you trade Gordon Hayward. I don't know what you're getting for him because of
You're not getting anything.
He's hurt too often.
That is the major problem for the that's the major problem for the Hornets right now. They have no one they can really trade for good pieces without trading away Terry Rozier or LaMelo. They have to be involved in some kind of trade package. Okay, yeah, Kelly Oubre has had his moments at some points. I don't think he's on the team anymore.
If they do have him still, I believe they think they do. He could...
He's a good rotational option.
They might get something for him, but you're getting probably a young player who's coming with the bench and the pick. And I mean, I guess you could move him. Makes sense if he's not going to be on the team next year. Get something for him. But outside of him, it's really just Terry Rozier, who you have to weigh. Is it the right move to move him? I'm not sure they're going to launch Gordon Hayward because he can't stay healthy. And you're not trading LaMelo. They're kind of stuck. They might at this point. Just ask Clifford to get him out of there, and then just try to do something different next
What
year.
I would do is this: trade a majority of your bottom feeders for cap space.
Yeah.
Trade them for cap.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna get the best for. You're not gonna get picks. You're not gonna get players. I'm not giving away an asset for Mason Plumlee. There ain't no way.
Might get a second round pick for him. Not much more.
Not even a second round pick. I don't even want him for a second round pick here. Just cap space and then free agency. Go hard, get players. They might even have to do a money ball thing to where they probably have to, hey, he's got, like the worst dislocated shoulder you've ever seen, but hey, he gets to the line. Instead of getting on base, he gets to the line,
Yeah.
He costs like, $20,000 a year. Cheap price. You get him real cheap.
$20,000 a year.
You
Jesus.
you give him $20,000 a year. He'll say thank you. You maybe $200,000 a year. Give him a nice $1 million bag. Set him for life. But that is a poverty franchise.
Charlotte, yeah.
I'm almost embarrassed to even think that Michael Jordan owns that team.
I was just gonna say, like, the guy has not done a good job with that team. He's obviously the greatest basketball player of all time. A basketball,
playing sports and sports management are very different.
Yeah, and like when it comes to owning a basketball team, not so much.
No, not even close. I would probably
see a successful crossover.
Yeah. These great players do not work out. Whether it's as a coach, as a GM, owner in any sport, they very rarely work out.
I mean, we've seen player coaches before. What about player owners? Michael Jordan's about to step in.
I mean, at this point, Michael Jordan might be the leading scorer. If he
He'll probably average like 40 points a game. He'll be dropping a Wilt number in 2023.
Yeah, as soft as this league is, Jordan probably would average 40, and even at like 60, he probably would be their best player. That team is terrible.
If he can move, he can bowl.
Basically.
He can get a jersey made for himself. It's not like he can't afford it.
Yeah, definitely can.
Multi-billion-dollar person, and what do you decide to do with that? Yeah, let me buy like a $2 franchise.
Yeah, right.
I genuinely think that if you and me chip in, and with Liam, who's in the control room, if we all chip in, I think we could all buy the Charlotte Hornets.
I think that's him if you could hear him. Yeah,
I think I'm thinking if we all chip in $200 each, I think for $600 and maybe a 4th round pick that doesn't even exist in basketball, we can definitely get the Charlotte Hornets.
I think so.
I think a 5th round. The 5th rounder.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if a 4th round is. I think even being a 4th rounder is too generous. I think a 5th round is going to be really where it's at. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, I am entering myself into the transfer portal. I am going to the Charlotte Hornets as their starting power forward. I'm a solid 6 feet tall. I have never missed a 3-pointer my entire life. Everyone knows this is a fact.
That is true.
I won a rookie Vince Carter jersey at Seaside Heights hitting a 3-pointer. That's exactly how much of a baller I am. Steve, sign me up. What I'm also thinking is that I'm also going to bring some people with me, like the GOAT Bryce Johnson. I'm going to be bringing Bryce Johnson with me.
What are you going to demand for a contract? I mean, first of all, what can they afford to pay you?
What they can afford to? Well, Michael Jordan's a billionaire, right? I'm going to ask for that. I'm going to ask for that Ronaldo deal. 5 years, $1 billion, $250 million a year. 4 years.
I mean, Jordan will make it back in like a week.
Yeah, exactly.
From his shoe sales.
Exactly, Jordan will make it back in a week. That's what I'm saying.
It's like Steve Cohen's like, oh, he's gonna give Otani $500 million. It's like he's got a $500 million payout. Like, yeah, he makes it back in an hour from his hedge fund.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's gonna be me and Bryce Johnson in the backcourt. We will be a lethal 3-point duo. Who the hell are the Splash Brothers, really? Yeah.
All right, so before we wrap up...
I'm getting Peter Kiss.
from Brian. Before we wrap up, I want to talk about the Super Bowl. Who do you guys have winning?
You go first.
There's a 100% the Chiefs. I said it from the day the Buffalo Bills went out.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wins the AFC wins the Super Bowl. The Chiefs won the AFC. The Chiefs are your 2023 Super Bowl champions. I mean, Pat Mahomes greater than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I think the defense of Philadelphia is going to be sketchy against that Kansas City offense. I think there's too many pieces they're going to have to contend with. I don't even know. I think it'll still be a close game, but I think it'll be too much for the Eagles defense. The Eagles, I think, overachieved to 9-0. I don't think 9-0. I don't think that was an accurate depiction of them. We saw how they did towards the end of the season. Once Hurts got injured, I mean, they just totally collapsed. They're not quite Lamar Jackson reliant like the Ravens are, or Tua Tagovailoa reliant like the Jags are, or not the Jags, the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
But they're built around Hurts, and that's going to hurt him on Sunday, next Sunday, I guess. This Sunday is the game that nobody cares about. Yeah, I think this is an easy title for Pat Mahomes.
All right, I'll go. I think it'll be a pretty good game. I think the Eagles got a little better defense. Chiefs both have good offense, but Mahomes is obviously better than Hurts. He's better than any quarterback in the NFL. Chiefs run D isn't good, which could hurt them. But that being said, the Eagles have had a pretty easy schedule this year. In the regular season, they didn't have a tough competition. In the playoffs, they get the bye. You play a very young Giants team. You play Josh Johnson with the Niners. This is going to be a tough test for them. I'm gonna take the Chiefs.
This is going to be a pretty exciting matchup.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably going to be one of the very few times to where Tom Brady nor Aaron Rodgers are going to be in the Super Bowl or even in a championship game.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. A lot of young talent in this game too.
Mahomes
and Hurts, very young quarterbacks. Look, Patrick Mahomes is probably the MVP this year. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone's better than him. Best quarterback in the NFL. Mm-hmm. My concern is this. The Eagles, they have excellent running backs. Yeah. Kenneth Gainwell, Miles Sanders will destroy that running defense. Even the passing defense is also just okay. With Devonta Smith, especially against Devonta Smith and AJ Brown, those guys are studs. They are probably the best weapons you possibly can. Nick Sirianni has done great things with this team. There should be no reason as to why the Eagles should not win this game, which is why I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs.
I was I was gonna say. Justin and I live together. He's been on the Chiefs, and we do podcasts besides this, and he baited me last time saying that he thought the Rams were gonna pick in the Bengals. And I'm like, wait, is he gonna pick the Bengals? He wants the Rams, and then he switched.
Yeah, let me tell you why. Here's why the Chiefs are gonna win, and it's for the same reason. Number one, strength of schedule. Mm-hmm. A lot more difficult for the Chiefs.
Yes.
Here's the thing: the Chiefs. Okay. Eagles, come back to me when you have to play the Bills and the Bengals all the time.
Yeah.
Really. Even the Chargers can be scary. They didn't have a fantastic season because Brandon Staley's just an idiot. But they could still give a bit of a scare. Even the Jaguars could be a bit of a problem, especially in that second half of the season. There's better teams. They didn't have to play against them. They played against the Giants, the Cowboys, the Commanders. They played against they played against the Colts and they won by a point. Against Jeff Saturday's Colts. You won by a point. Look, the Vikings were just okay. They could have been a Super Bowl team if Kirk Cousins didn't throw a check down. But it's whatever.
They could have been a Super Bowl team.
Yeah. My other thing is this. There is a huge quarterback gap. How do you have... Jalen, let me ask you something. Let me ask Jalen Hurts a question if he listens to this. Probably does, obviously. How are you playing against a fourth-string quarterback and you still underperform? He did not have that good of a game. Here's the thing.
Playing the league's best defense, but he did not look good.
Here's the thing. When I'm the Eagle, if I'm the Eagles, here's what I'm concerned about. Patrick Mahomes makes players weapons. Who has ever thought of Kadarius Toney as a weapon? I sure as hell know the Giants didn't. The Giants didn't think he was a weapon. And then Patrick Mahomes makes him one.
Would have traded them for a 3 and a 6 if they thought so.
It's because Patrick Mahomes is that good of a quarterback. What's going to happen is this. I'm calling it right now. What's going to happen in this game is that all of a sudden the run game is going to get cooked for the Eagles. And Patrick Mahomes is going to keep on throwing his dimes all the way to the end zone. Maybe hand it off to Pacheco, 1 or 2 plays in the drive, and then all of a sudden Nick Sirianni's going to be like, Jalen, throw the goddamn ball. Can you throw it more than 3 yards than a 3-yard quick slant, please? That is what's going to happen. I think the Chiefs win this game. I'm going to say 27-20, and the Eagles are going to have a safety this game.
Wow, Justin's getting specific. Redbox, do you got a score prediction?
I'm going to say, I'm taking the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say, let's go 24-14.
Okay.
A little wider.
All right, I'll say Kansas City 34-26.
I like it. Liam, who you got?
Who wins? All right, we are all on the Chiefs here on Talkin Sports with Jake, featuring yours truly, Justin. Thank you, Redbox,
Thanks, Redbox.
for coming in. You're welcome anytime. That's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long, and have a great day.
Bye.